Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to GMC's Small Business Marketing Talk Show series, where you will learn about marketing from successful small business owners and marketing professionals. The main idea behind this show is to educate and inspire small business owners about the importance of marketing for their businesses. My guest for today is Raya Khashab. She's a CEO and co-founder of Easy Clocker. It's a time tracking and a scheduling software for startups, for small businesses. And prior to Easy Clocker, she worked at Intuit for 15 years. So let's welcome her to the show. Hi, Rhea.
Hi, thank you for inviting
Hi.
me.
Thanks for coming to the show. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Easy Clocker.
Sure. So, as mentioned, my name is Raya Khashab. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Easy Clocker. Just like Rana mentioned, it's a time tracking and scheduling software. So if you imagine, say you're a landscape or a janitorial, and you have employees showing up at different locations. So the
Mhm.
employees would download our app and then they would push a button to clock in. And you, as the employer, can check their GPS. So you would know sitting at home or at the office, you would know if your employee showed up at the correct location. So that's the value.
Right, right. That's very good. So, what inspired you to start your business?
Yeah. So I worked for corporate for about over 15 years, and I always wanted to do my own thing. So I
Mhm.
looked and we interviewed some small business owners. We looked at the market. What we found out is a lot of software that's out there is very expensive and also
Mhm.
very complex. So as you know, like the small business owner is usually a family owned, family run. So it's you, your spouse is probably the office manager, maybe your father in law is the supervisor. And so it's a family knit. And usually
Mhm.
you are juggling like 100 things, right? So you don't have
Right.
time to learn a new system. And you sure don't have any time to train these employees, right? They're
Right.
constantly coming into your door. So we
Right.
thought we really need something that's out there that's just simple to use. And that's how we came up with Easy Clocker.
Oh, that's great. That's a great story. So, yeah, it's like starting a business is not an easy idea, and it's like
Right.
you're juggling so many balls and you're wearing so many hats. So it's like everyone who is starting, they have very limited budget, they have very limited resources, and they're just trying to meet up and they're trying to just get done with things.
Yep.
So, how much do you think branding and messaging is important for any small business in 2020?
Yeah, great question. So I think it's very important. You got to get your message out. So for us, for example, our message is Easy Clocker is easy to use and affordable.
Hmm.
Okay. So you'll see it through all of our messages. You see it on our website when we talk to customers. And that's the question I get a lot is how is Easy Clocker any different than any other time tracking that's out there in the software market, right?
Hmm.
And so we
Right.
were like, well, that's easy because 95% of our customers would recommend us because we're easy to use and affordable.
Hmm.
So see that message, I keep on saying it over and over. It's not a broken record. It's more that's our message. So we're consistent in
Right.
it. And by you doing that, you kind of make yourself different than everybody else that's in the market. And then people, after you say it about 100 times, they will actually think about it. It's like, oh, okay, I need something simple. What a time tracking, what would I use? I would use this easy clocker. So so definitely messaging, important, important.
Right, right. And that defines your business, right? When you're establishing your branding is actually that's what you're doing. That's what you are.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
that's very good. So it's like being an entrepreneur, it's not always easy. You're always looking for things or you're always after fulfilling things. And so how do you find your target audience?
Yeah, that's a hard one, especially when you're starting off. You really don't know who your audience is, right? So when we
Hmm.
started off, we targeted all small business, but that's a lot. So you've got your construction, your janitorial, how do you segment? So we started off just a broad, let's do all small business. And then we looked at the data to see
Right.
who do we attract. So we attracted
Hmm.
the construction. We definitely attracted the people that need remote, right, work. And so you
Hmm.
kind of study your data. So first you start off broad, you study the data, and then you go a little bit more narrow. So now we
Right.
have more of a segmentation where we know 30% in this particular industry, another 20% is this other industry. So then you can target your ads towards those
Mhm.
industries. So yeah, you usually start off broad and then you go and narrow a little bit later.
Right. And just targeting your audience right is so important. That can make or break for your business. Being you're running ads for the business, or if you have some kind of promotions or anything like that, that is very, very important. Yeah. So running a business is not an easy thing. It's just a learning that you're doing every day. Every day is a new day, and you're learning things. You're wearing so many hats. Or so what were the challenges that you faced when you started Easy Clock?
So when we started the Easy Clocker, from a market perspective, I'm a software engineer, my background. So
Hmm.
to me, I was just overwhelmed. Marketing is huge, and I didn't realize that,
Yeah.
right? Because if you come from
Yeah.
a different background, you look at this
Right.
and you're like, oh, it's just a marketing ads, but it
Hmm.
isn't. There's email
Right.
marketing, there's social marketing,
Right.
there's like content marketing. Well, what is content marketing? So you got to read about
Right.
that. Then there's
Right.
SEO. That's a whole other, like, you can take a whole month just to go over
Right.
SEO. So for me,
Right.
it was a little overwhelming. So that's the challenge that I had. And then I just
Right.
kept on educating myself. And then I just picked a channel. So I would pick, like, for example, SEO, and then just dive
Hmm.
into it and then try to
Right.
experiment. So those are kind of like the things you would find when you first start off. And then it
Hmm.
just takes time. So don't get frustrated, don't get overwhelmed. So that's definitely, I
Hmm.
suggest for people, don't get overwhelmed because it is a
Right.
huge area. And so for you, kind of like just to focus, pick a couple, maybe
Hmm.
SEO, or pick something like Google Ads or something, and then just go in for a month or two, and then just kind of like focus on that. And if it doesn't work, then go to another channel, and then try
Right.
some, and then see if that works. And that's what we've been doing. So that's worked
Okay.
out really well. But you really need data. You need experiments. Sometimes marketing just feels like you're just throwing your money, right? But
Exactly.
yeah, and so
Yes.
you get frustrated, right? So you do 1 week and you don't see any traction, and you're like, well, let's throw that away. Let's go to something else. But if you put like experiments, and so you would look at some experiments, what did you find out? What did you learn? So
Right.
that's how you would do it. And then maybe it's just too expensive. And so you move on to a different channel. So those are
Right.
things kind of I suggest for people to do.
Right. And especially when you're doing it by yourself, you're trying out new things, or you're experimenting a lot. So that things are not that easy at beginning. And once you know how things are going, then things just calm down, and then you can just go with the flow. So
Right.
I can understand that it's not going to be easy for anybody who is just starting with the marketing, and then they have to be running the business side by side as well.
Exactly.
Right,
Yes.
right. Yeah. So can you share some of your marketing tools that you're using at Easy Clocker?
Yeah. So we use several. Right now, we're using Lead Pages, and for those viewers who don't know what Lead Pages is, it's a kind of drag and drop. So you could create your landing page, and the
Mm-hmm.
reason you want to use a landing page is because when you're running an ad, you don't want to send them to your main page. You want to create a special page just for those ads. And the reason you want to
Mm-hmm.
do that is kind of you want to experiment, right? The messaging, you want to experiment, maybe pricing or something like that. So lead
Mm-hmm.
pages, I found it's real easy. You can just drop in, and put your tags, put your pictures. It loads up pretty quick, and then it gives
Mm-hmm.
you a link that you can link your ads to it. So Lead Pages has been wonderful. And then
Right.
also we use Drip. So Drip is something that Lead Pages actually bought Drip, so they integrate
Mm-hmm.
pretty well. And
Okay.
that's what you would use for your onboarding or your marketing emails. So, say for example, you put a page and you're announcing something, and all you're doing is capturing emails. So
Mm-hmm.
then that email that you captured, you send it to Drip, and then
Right.
you have like a workflow where you work out certain things. So, for example, the first day, besides the welcome, maybe I will give them another tip. So if you're a coach, for example, you want to give them tips, maybe little seminars, maybe some information. So you want to go
Mhm.
through maybe a week or two of that. So Drip
Okay.
will do that and then give you kind of analytics. So that helps you
Okay.
see how many people opened it. So that one, MailChimp, a lot of people use that. That's for your
Hmm.
newsletter
Right.
information. Drip is more for the onboarding. So there's a couple. And then
Okay.
Recur Post is a great one. So for social media, for example,
Okay.
and we talked about this, right? Small
Hmm.
business owners are overwhelmed. They don't have time. So how do
Hmm.
you tweet or how do you put a Facebook post, once a
Hmm.
day or several times a
Right.
day? Well, you would use
Right.
something, a scheduler like Recur Post. That's what we use. There's Meet Edgar, there's other ones. And you would
Hmm.
schedule all your posts. So I would schedule them a week ahead. And then I would have all my posts automatically being posted every day. So it looks like you're always active, but you're really
Hmm.
only active, you're only putting your time in once every week. And
Right.
lastly, Upwork. Upwork is not a tool, it's more of a marketplace for freelancers. So we
Hmm.
use that a lot. So if you're thinking about, well, I just need someone to write some blog articles for me, well, you can go to Upwork and find freelancers there. Very
Right.
affordable. You have different ranges. You can put
Hmm.
criteria. Say, for example, when I write my own blog post, I need a proofreader to
Right.
go over it and give me
Hmm.
suggestions how to improve it or grammar or anything like that, right? So you want a
Uh-huh.
proofreader, even marketer, sales programmers, you can find them there, anything
Right.
pretty much. So Upwork is huge. We've used those guys a lot.
Right, right, and especially for the small businesses, they have to be active on social media because a lot of people are sitting on social media, and there is messaging going out there from that channel. So, and they don't have that much time to spend on social media and then do their business as well. So, all of these tools, they help them a lot if they can they just have to sit once in a week, and then they're done with the whole week, and they don't have to worry about posting every day. So
Right, right,
that's
and just to
very
add to
good.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
you wanna automate some of that, right? I mean, I'm in that
Right.
boat too, where I get overwhelmed, there's just too much to do, but if you automate
Right.
it and you can schedule items, you'll feel that burden being lifted.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely automate,
Right.
look for software, things
Hmm.
that can help you, so as a business, you look like, like 10 people are working there, but it's actually just a couple, right, that are running that
Right.
business. Mhm.
Right. Right. That's good. So now you have passed the phase of being a startup, and now it's a full-blown business. Uh, how does customer retention help with marketing your business? What do you think about doing a customer retention?
So customer retention, yes. So we all know, especially for software, customer retention is very
Hmm.
important. So that's
Hmm.
when you would use onboarding. I mentioned that we use Drip. So that's
Uh-huh.
one thing. Another one
Uh-huh.
is kind of knowing your customer. So
Right.
when you see your customer, you talk to them on the phone, you try to ask them questions. Well, how do you like it? How's it been so far? So just don't answer just their question, right? Or maybe a
Right.
lead would come in. And so you kind of want to capture information about your customer. And then when you've got them on the phone or you got an email, you just ask them, well, how's things going, right? And then another thing we do is in the software or in our app, there's a feedback. So there's a choice where
Hmm.
you can send feedback. So that's something when somebody like thinks of some feedback or a question or something like that. It's just a tap of a button in our app, and then they can send us feedback. We got tremendous feedback from our customers through that. So, a couple of ways you
That's
can
great.
do it, but first, just kind of understanding your customer because if
Hmm.
your retention is low, how do you improve that? And then for people that really like yours, right? Ask them, can you
Hmm.
review us? Do you
Right.
mind, spreading the word? Like I have some customers, they're like, oh, I love you and I love this product. And so I tell them, I was like, thank you. If you can, just spread the word, tell your friends, because small businesses know other small businesses, right? And they
Right.
also
Right.
trust each other. So a
Hmm.
referral from another small business is huge.
Right.
So that's one of the things. So you would just ask, right? So you've got them on the phone. If you feel like they're really like loving your product or your service, just ask them. It's like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you review us? This would help us a lot. and you will get
Right.
reviews.
Right. And I have heard that there, even in 2020, there are some businesses who actually are running through word of mouth.
Yeah.
So word of mouth is so powerful for any business.
Yes.
That's a really
Yes.
good marketing strategy.
Yes, yes, word of mouth, and then just give them incentives too, because
Right.
we're all busy, right? But if they
Mm-hmm.
really liked you and you help them out, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
go like, okay, I'm going to help these people out, and I'm going to refer them.
Right.
So I know for small business, if they ask me and I really like them, I will tell my family, my friends about them. So yes, definitely.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a great advice, Raya. So, since the start of this pandemic, there are so many small businesses that are either being impacted by closure or they're impacted by very low foot traffic and people are not going out and small businesses are hurting a lot. So, what can a small business do during these uncertain timings?
Yes, great question. So a couple that come to my mind. One is expenses. So sit
Mm-hmm.
down and figure out all your business expenses. Where is your money going? Do you have expensive software? If there any other software out there that's more affordable, maybe your equipment, maybe some contractors, see what pricing that you're getting. Maybe you can negotiate your vendors, for example, pricing wise, because everybody right now is price conscious, so they're open to talking to you. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
first thing I would do. Just sit down and do your expenses. The other thing, it's a mindset. Even if we're
Right.
in a crisis right now, there's opportunities out there. So I know
Mm-hmm.
it all looks grim, but if you look at a different perspective, there are new opportunities somewhere out there that this
Right.
virus has created. So
Mm-hmm.
as a business person, you need to look for those opportunities. Okay,
Right.
so that's a couple. And then the other thing is motivation. So
Mm-hmm.
listening to too much news, I know for me, right,
Yeah.
it demotivates me. It stresses me
Yeah.
out. So I
Yep.
still watch the news just to know what's going on, but I notice myself like my energy is going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
My motivation is
Right.
not the same, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
more stressed than I was. And so
Right.
lately what I've been doing is I listen to a lot of podcasts. That's just normal. That's what I do. And so I've been looking at podcasts that got recorded before the coronavirus. And the reason
Right.
is because I want to be out in that mindset. And when you are listening to something for an hour that's just motivating and ideas and someone's just giving you all this tips and wisdom, right? You get
Mm-hmm.
back and you're like, you know, I'm gonna try these things, right? But you
Exactly.
need that
Yeah.
motivation, and so it's something you need to surround yourself with positivity, and you'll
Mm-hmm.
notice that your creativity and your motivation, your ideas start flowing. Right? They were always
Right.
there, but if you're
Right.
constantly, because a lot of us are sitting at home, right? So we're not getting
Right.
out there a lot and meeting people and meeting customers. So there's a lot
Right.
of time you're sitting at home, and it could stress you out or just bring you down. You're just not feeling right, very
Right.
creative. So you really
Mm-hmm.
kind of have to force yourself to listen to motivational speakers or podcasts or ideas or this live event, for example. Things
Right.
like these kind of make you think about different ideas and get you out of your routine. So definitely, yeah, several of those expenses, opportunities are out there, and then just motivate yourself.
Right, right, yeah. So, and I've noticed that since the start of this pandemic, most businesses they're like just they have stopped everything on social media as well. So that
Yeah.
is something that they need to be actually communicating with their customers more and more, so that they can help their customer at this time just by communicating, just by getting their word out or asking their customers what are their pain points at this time, so that way they can actually engage with their customers more and they can have more retention with the customers.
Mhm.
So because right now people are like they're not going out, they're not spending too much, so it's like things are not the same as it was 6 months ago. So definitely it's not a time to just sit down and not do anything.
Right.
So Yeah, it can hurt your business more than anything else. So I think the good suggestion is just to motivate yourself and just spend time with your customers more and more, so that will help you in the future.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. So how can people reach out to you and your team if they're interested in Easy Clocker?
Yeah. So you can reach me at LinkedIn. So I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
You can message me through LinkedIn. You can email me at raya.easyclocker. Raya.kashab at easyclocker.com. Or you
Uh-huh.
can just visit our website to learn more about Easy Clocker. So E is an elephant, Z is a zebra, clocker.com.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So again, thank you so much for coming
Yeah.
to the show. We're kind of wrapping up for today. So,
Yeah.
would you have any advice for people who are actually thinking of becoming entrepreneurs or who are actually thinking to start their new business?
Yeah, if you're starting right now, the first thing I would do is just educate yourself, right? Try to read
Mm-hmm.
everything you can. So that's the first phase that I would
Mm-hmm.
do. Look at problems, right? So if you're trying to come up with ideas, ask people. Right now, you can't meet a lot of people, right? We used to go like, well, get outside the house and go and meet
Yes,
people. Well, you can't do that anymore.
exactly. Right.
But you can definitely read. You can read the posts. You can read. You can ask your family, friends, ask them questions. So if you're in that idea phase, right, you kind of want to just broaden your horizon. Just read everything you can, and then ideas will pop right into your head.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you have ideas, you got to educate yourself, right? You just don't go in. You got to learn a lot of things about business. You can take some, classes, courses, whatever, books, because that's what I did in the beginning. I read a lot, but at
Okay.
some point, you're just sick of reading and you want to start
Right.
doing. So
Right.
at the second phase you would go in is just start something, anything. It just well in the software industry we call it MVP, so minimum viable product. So you want to start
Okay.
something small. So if you're like for example a coach, do like a 10-minute video on YouTube, right? So you want to do like something really small. You want to try it out, put it out there, see if you get any feedback. And then
Mm-hmm.
the feedback is the most important thing because when you put something out there, that's when it's
Okay.
live and people are going to give you some feedback. And from that feedback, you're going to know, okay, am I on the right direction? Do I need to change? Is this even product even useful? So people will
Right.
tell you that. But unless you produce something, if you're writing a book, unless you're going to write a page and put it out there, nobody's going to know about it. This great idea
Right.
that you have. So
Right.
that's you've got to just put yourself out there. It may not look perfect, it may not look great, but at least if somebody is giving you feedback, because the worst thing you can do is just put it out there and get nobody talking. Like, not even
Right.
they hate you, right? You kind of want
Right.
somebody to tell you, okay, I really like this or I really hate it. Well, why do you hate it? What's wrong with it? How
Right.
can I improve
Right.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or they can tell you it's not useful. Well, great. Why is it not useful? What could I have done? So that's what you want to do. Any feedback is great. So those are a couple of things there. I definitely won't quit my job, my day job. So if you have a corporate job, don't quit it yet. I would
Mm-hmm.
suggest you start things on the side.
Uh-huh.
Start them at, on the weekends at nighttime. You can definitely do like a little project on the side and just
Right.
learn. And then when you get more confidence, you get some money in, then you can quit your job. So just a couple of things there.
Okay. That's a great advice. Yeah. So it's like every day is a new day, and you're
Yep.
learning things, and you're trying to achieve your goals, and in this endeavor, the key is to start somewhere. Once you're
Right.
starting, and then after that, you have to be consistent with your approach. So things take time, and of course, you're not going to be able to get the results in 2 days or in just 24 hours,
Yeah.
especially with the marketing. Like, I have seen people saying that, yeah, it's not happening, it's been 2 weeks, it's not happening. So it takes time, and you have to be consistent with your marketing, if you're marketing to for small businesses, or if you're a large corporations. So it takes time. but definitely there is a value in it for small businesses, that if they're using it properly, they will definitely be able to grow their business, and they will get more revenue out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like just because there's a pandemic out there, you don't need to slow down because your
Right,
customers are out there. Whatever they're doing, I mean, people are at the home. They need to buy stuff. They're watching
right,
videos, right?
right,
So if you're a coach or something, write write some
right,
blog post or do a video. There is no excuses not to do that while we're sitting at home. But
right,
if you are something like a janitorial or a construction company, you can still put your name out there. You can still reach out. Phone calls, ads are still there. A lot of people are on Facebook, right? Because we're sitting at home.
right,
So
right,
do your Facebook ads, do your post. People are
mhm,
reading a lot right now. So
right,
one of the things, yeah, don't use pandemic as an excuse for your business to fail, right?
right,
Some
right,
things are out of your control. So
hmm,
some things that your whole business is dependent on something that went away. So that one,
hmm,
yes, you can't help it. But other things, just because your audience changed or your the way you sell things changed, you just have to be more creative and think about ways to sell to those people.
right. Yeah, that's a great advice. Yeah, thank you so much again, Rhea, for coming to the show. I hope our audience got a lot of value from your story, and we look forward to seeing you grow in the future.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. Bye.